Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
that was weak. I was trying to make a cork pop sound with my mouth because I've got a screw cap here.
Oh, there we go.
That's a good one.
Screw cap.
What I was trying to do was go. Still didn't work.
There we go.
That's a good one.
Screw cap's actually got a pretty good some audio to it too.
It's kind of like cracking your knuckles.
It's not too bad. He is Kevin Meyer of Meyer's Cork and Bottle, and it is Thirsty Thursday. It's one of our favorite segments here on the block. Again, Strick is off getting some wheels, so he'll be joining us here maybe momentarily. I think he's planning on for the second part of the show, the second hour. But I guess sorry for him, I guess, because we're doing Thirsty Thursdays without him with Kevin Meyer. Kevin, how was the Snoop Dogg concert last night? I know you were staying up late partying up there at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Really?
No, I don't know that. I'm not
sure. I'm pretty sure I was horizontal by the time Snoop Dogg even took the stage.
Oh yeah, well,
I did play golf yesterday though, which was it felt so nice to be outside and not getting blown away by 100-mile-an-hour winds all the time. So I did extend the enjoyment after the golf game onto my deck and grilled up some kebabs and drank some wine and hung out with my wife. It was a good evening. So
yeah, that sounds just as good as going to the Snoop Dogg concert. Kebabs are always really good. I wanted to get your opinions on Blockbuster before we get going. We just got done talking about. Do you miss Blockbuster?
Not really. But see, I'll do you one better because I'm a lot older than you guys. I'm 50, and so I can remember when you would go to the video stores, even before Blockbuster was a thing, and you would rent the actual VHS player. And so it came in this big heavy case, and these things weighed like 60 pounds, and you'd have to lug that thing home and you'd rent it for the weekend, and then you'd rent your movies on top of that. And that was back when VHS and Betamax were fighting against each other and trying to determine which one was going to win. Ultimately, VHS did win, although I think Betamax was a better product because the tapes were smaller. But anyway, but then you also had laser discs. Do you remember? Do you know what a laser disc is?
Not necessarily.
No. So it was about the size of a record album, like a
nice.
legit record album, and it was probably about half an inch thick. And you just shoved this whole thing into the front of a player, and that's what you watch your movie on. It was wild.
Wow, that is very cool.
So, but the technology just breeds more technology, and it's so advanced now that we can't even begin to comprehend where the technology actually is, because it's so far advanced. There isn't a consumer application for it because we just wouldn't have the knowledge to be able to use it properly or the infrastructure. So it's just crazy what is already available that we don't even know.
We benefit off of the explorations of other humans before us. Basically, if you sent us back in time and asked us to make a VHS player, how far do you think you would get with that? I'm not even talking about pressing a button and streaming. I'm talking just make a VHS player, which is pretty old.
Well, like a tape player, we had those. So
you think you could put it together?
Oh, no.
No. Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, it's funny because there's this Jeff Bargatze, I think his name is. He's a comedian, and he was like, I could go back in the past like 50 years and still probably not do any better than what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And they'd say well, that's easy. Just do it off the satellite. And they'd be like, what's a satellite? And he's like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
How's that work? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it should be done by now. What are we drinking here? We're starting with some wine, and looks pretty good.
Sticking with the theme of willing spring into existence, we are gonna have some rosé all day, and it is a rosé wine from France. And what makes a rosé wine a rosé is that it's a red wine grape, but they just don't allow much skin contact after they do the crush, and so it turns it lightly pink. And they're crisp, clean, light, refreshing. They have fresh strawberry overnotes to them. They're not sweet wines, they're dry, but this is the quintessential spring patio wine. This is what your wives and girlfriends all get silly on, when they get together. And so I just figured, let's will spring into existence and see if we can drink away the wind. I want to drink away the wind and so we can spend some time outdoors.
Let me ask you this then, Kevin. Why is it that moms love rosé? Because this is what my mom almost exclusively drinks rosé.
I'm guessing it's probably the color.
Okay.
They like the color.
Interesting.
And
Wow.
so, because they're light pink, it looks cool.
Mhm.
You drink it nice and chilled. It's just a crushable style of wine that is really, really popular these days. And historically, when we saw pink wine, we would automatically think sweet, like White Zinfandel. But within the past 5 years, dry rosé have become super, super popular. Everyone's making one, and these are on the shelf for $12. It's
Holy
just
smokes.
springtime in a glass.
Great to get for your mom.
Yep, great. Yeah, for Mother's Day.
Mother's Day's in May
Absolutely.
8th.
Yeah.
Pick up a nice bottle of rosé for mom. Speaking of mom and picking up wine, it's also the last week of our spring wine sale. So if you want to take advantage of that, it ends Sunday. So get on down, and we've got 125 different wines at our deepest deals of 2022, and it's a good time to go wine shopping.
Yeah, absolutely. Always a good time to stop by Myers Cork and Bottle, especially if there's a deal going on. And
Absolutely.
yeah, this one around $12. Very not at all bitter at all. Easy to go down.
Light, crisp,
Very.
clean. Like I said, it has some sort of like fresh fruit notes without being sweet.
Mhm.
And like it just springtime in a glass is all I can say.
Kevin, we have a question for you on the text line. Jeremy asks, "Hey Kevin, how do you classify rosés and blushes differently?"
They're really the same thing. 2 words for the same thing. Blush just has to do with the color. Rosé is essentially a wine made of red grapes where the skins are not allowed to macerate.
Okay.
And so it infuses just a little bit of tannin, a little bit of color, and then the skins are separated. Now, if the skins were allowed to stay and macerate with the juice after the crush, then it would turn the wine red and end up making a red wine. And so it's sort of the best hybrid of both a red and a white. So it's like a white wine made from red grapes.
That's delicious.
Yeah.
I already finished mine. So.
Oh, you did already finish yours. I'm a little bit behind. I better chug mine here.
Box of cheap date. We know that.
Right.
Bach just needs 1 glass.
And there's more. So
Oh yeah.
Delicious
That's
stuff.
very, very
shall
good.
we move on to the beer?
Yeah, let's
Absolutely.
move on to the beer. There's
I'm gonna pass these out.
What is that? A giraffe looking at me over here on the cover of that beer. So it looks pretty cool. I'm a big.
Speaking of
big
the
fan of
Lincoln
giraffes.
Children's Zoo, give them a little bit of a plug. They have 2 new baby giraffes. So
do
that
they?
might be why they're trying to raise some money.
So this is a collaboration between the Lincoln Children's Zoo and Empyrean Brewing right here in good old Lincoln. And it is a what they call their Zookeeper Limited collection. And it's a Kolsch style ale, which is basically a German style lager with lemon. And so again, sticking with the theme of willing spring into existence, just light, crisp, lemony, refreshing, poundable, crushable, and not to mention a portion of the proceeds benefit the Lincoln Children's Zoo.
Yeah.
And what's cooler than going to the zoo?
Yeah,
Especially
absolutely.
baby giraffes. Come on. man.
They do. They have baby giraffes. I think they're up to 7 giraffes. I'm not entirely
Wow.
sure, but this is. I'm trying to think what I would compare this to. Maybe like a shandy, like a summer shandy.
It is. I mean, the thing I like about this is that it's a natural lemon taste. It's not like a lemonade taste
That's a good
where
point.
it's sugary.
right.
Yep.
So it gives it a little bit of that tartness, enough to make it refreshing, but not enough to make it sour. And just like I said, crisp, clean, crushable. Again, spring and summertime in a glass, and also helps our good friends at the Lincoln Zoo. So
Now, have you ever been a guy to collect cans? Because this is one of those, like, after I drink it, I'd probably keep the can just because it looks so cool.
only when I was a kid, and we'd keep them and crush them, and then take them in the recycler. And get
Oh, right.
Take like 500 pounds of cans, and they'd give you like $12.
Can you still do that?
I don't know.
I think so.
Anybody try and
can,
do
you-
that.
Can you still cash in cans?
I see people collecting cans from time to time, so I
Okay,
think so.
no
I think
idea.
there's a reason behind it.
I imagine you can. I don't know what.
You don't make a whole lot though. Is the problem?
Yeah.
I did do it, once, and then never again.
You use it to get more beer.
Right, that's the goal.
Well, back in the day, you had returnable bottles. And so you would buy a case of beer and you put a deposit on that of like $2. And the case of beer maybe ran you 5 or 6. And the bottles were returnable. So you would take back your empty case of bottles and then they would replace it with a case of full bottles, but you didn't have to pay the deposit
Oh,
once you brought
Oh.
the
Really?
bottles back. Yeah.
Kind of like a keg.
kind of like a keg, and so they would literally
I'm
they
thinking
would
much
wash
more
them out,
larger.
Yeah.
wash them out, reuse them, and that's how And so I mean, we like to think that we're green and doing we're recycling and conscious about all that stuff. Reusing the stuff back in the 70s was way more efficient than what we do now, but people got
That's interesting.
tired of having to take the bottles back. Soda pop was the same way. My mom would buy they came in 8-packs, and they were glass bottles that were returnable, and they would wash them and reuse them.
Would this just be at like breweries, or they just had like a?
No, your liquor store would have returnable bottles. So I remember when I first started at Myers Cork and Bottle was 1990, and this was as the returnable bottles were like very at their tail end. But we still had a handful of customers that always wanted their case of, usually it was Old Milwaukee, in the returnable bottles, and yeah, they were heavy. Like a case of empty bottles probably weighed 10-12 pounds, and so you imagine when they're full, it was probably a 25-pound case of beer.
Okay, so this is coming from a person that just turned 21 and not a wine not an avid wine drinker. So going back to the wine for a moment, seeing you screw the top on made me think of this question. Why do you choose a screw top as a wine like distributor or whatever? Why do you choose a screw top instead of a cork? What's the difference? What do they do? Does it talk like does it show off any of the quality of wine if it's a cork compared to a screw top?
Well, historically, before now, like say our parents' generation.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm old enough to be your dad, so my parents.
You don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. It's okay.
So back in like the 60s and 70s, there was a thing where good wine came with a cork, bad wine came with a screw cap.
Yeah.
So your bad wine was your Ernest and Julio Gallo jugs. Your good wine was, whatever your good wine was. Well, the only purpose of the cork is to provide a seal. That's it. And so industry-wide, they estimate that they lose up to 2% due to faulty cork, that it leaks, it doesn't provide a seal, doesn't do its job. They also say that up to 35-40% of the wine you have with a cork is affected by a bacteria. It's called TCA, and it has a aroma and taste of like your grandmother's wet basement. It's very musty.
Yeah.
And once you learn to detect TCA in your wine, it sticks out like blood in the water. I mean, it's just
interesting.
And so producers, I mean, can you imagine Coke or Pepsi or Budweiser, losing 2% of their product because the can didn't work or the bottle didn't work?
Yeah.
I mean, they'd spend $1 billion to come up with something that did. Well, so the hardest part was just getting over that mental hurdle of bad wine came with a screw cap, good wine came with a cork. Now I would say at least 50 to 60% of the wines we carry, even on the high end stuff, comes with a screw cap.
Interesting.
And so it's just more reliable, and but it's also a lot less sexy. You don't get the cool tool that you get to use.
That's the thing.
The cool noise. I mean, there's something about the romance of opening a bottle of wine with a cork and your cork puller that adds to the experience. And so it's not going to go away, but at the same time, it's an inferior way of closing the bottle. And how it came about was back then they didn't have glass bottles. The jugs were made of ceramic, like clay. And so they didn't have the technology to put these threads on there and put a screw. So they took the bark out of a soft oak tree and they just shoved it in the top, and it worked like a stopper. And that was, sort of, what is the necessity of the mother of invention? Necessity is the mother of invention. So they needed a way to enclose the container, and that's what they had. And then obviously the process gets refined over the years, and that's how it all came about.
Okay.
Is there like a primary cork producer, or is this does it come all? Is there like a like the big Coke or big cork brands?
I'm sure there is like a like a big cork company.
Yeah.
You have to be careful.
They're like worried about. Yeah, I know.
That's Saturday Night Live skit. I come from a long line of cork soakers.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you ever seen that SNL skit?
I think I have, but I don't remember right away.
Janet Jackson's in it. It's hilarious. Basically, they're in Italy and they're like, "Hey, I've been soaking cork for my whole life. My mom soaked cork.
Oh man,
my grandmother soaked cork."
So that is dangerous. I even had a little slip.
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
So I'm sure there are big cork companies. I can't name one.
Yeah.
I also might, dissuade anyone from searching.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
What that does.
No, that's actually really cool because I like you said, there's that stereotype that better wine comes with a cork and less expensive cheap wine comes with just a screw top. So it's that mental block that you were saying.
So you sort of still possess that in your psyche that okay. So, and I mean, I understand it, and
which I will be the first to say that the rosé all day really, really good. Like that's one that I would buy.
Yeah.
Like he hit it on the head. Like it was awesome.
And it's it's nice because you put the cap back on it, you can throw it back in the cooler, you can lay it down in the fridge. With that cork, you got to shove it back in there, and sometimes even if you lay it down, it leaks, and then it's tough to get back out of there without reusing the cork puller. I find that I end up using my teeth to to get to pull it back out of the fridge. So especially with a wine like this that's chilled, or a wine you want to put in the cooler or whatnot, it's just more convenient.
All right. Or just finish the whole bottle.
You can do that too.
There you go.
But it's still
Buy
nice
some
to be able to
friends.
keep it cold.
Exactly.
I mean,
That's
like just taking rosé to the dome and it's about 90.
Pull
when
right
you get
out of the
done.
bottle.
Yeah.
Why not? You don't need a glass.
That's awesome. All right.
Well, unfortunately, we're getting up against it, but Kevin Meyer of Myers Cork and Bar always stops in for Thirsty Thursdays. Remind us one more time what we drank today and what's going on at the store.
We have rosé all day for $12. We also have the collaboration between the Lincoln Children's Zoo and Empyrean Ales called their Zookeeper, and it is a lemon Kolsch style ale. And spring wine sale ends Sunday. So if you want to save some dough on a good bottle of wine, come see us, and we'll take good care of you.
Absolutely. Again, he's Kevin Meyer of Myers Cork and Bottle, and this has been Thirsty Thursday. Eric Strickland will be joining us around the corner, I believe, at the 5 o'clock hour. But we still have to give $15 away to Buffalo Wings and Rings. So we'll figure out a way to do that. So be prepared to call in. That's coming up next year on the block on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring has arrived. Dust off your clubs and play the city. Lincoln City Golf Courses offer 5 different places to play, including Homes, Pioneers, Highlands, Mahoney, and the Par 3 Jim Ager course. Plus, one membership gets you access to all 5 courses, or ask about a discount card that gets you 15% off all rounds. There's also adult classes with lessons for every level with Lincoln City Golf Academy. Learn more about membership and classes today at lincolncitygolf.org.
Early Break with Sip and Jake.
Again, we're joined by Yoshi Hardrick, former Nebraska offensive lineman, currently a Winnipeg Blue Bomber of the CFL, 2-time champion. What was it like going from the Big 12 to the Big 10 one year to the next?
Well, my first defensive end was 280 to 300 pounds. And every team we played had 2 tight ends in.
Yeah.
I was like, we're about to play some football.
Early Break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
2-1 count, and that's a deep drive into the gap. Smith rounding first base. It's a stand-up double.
Hey, Nick, speaking of doubles, did you know Wings and Rings has 2 ways to enjoy their next-level food?
Rico, we're in the middle of a game.
The game can wait, Nick. One way is to stop by one of their Lincoln locations. They have 2 great locations at O Street, Meridian Park, and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village.
You said 2 ways. What's the other way?
You can order online at wingsandrings.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game.
That is correct. It is Shootout with Strick. Go ahead and give us a call, 402-464-5685 to play now. Unfortunately, or I guess maybe fortunately for you, because Bach might be bad at this, you will be playing Bach. It will not be Strick today, and our topic is the NHL playoff picture.
Yikes.
How does that make you feel, Bach?
I'm ready. I've been preparing. I've watched NHL my whole life, and there's no way anybody can win against me.
Really?
No, actually, the complete opposite of that. I was just trying to show off,
but no. I don't know about you, actually. I didn't know you like the NHL.
No, I don't. I don't know much about the NHL, so you got a great shot to beat me.
Yeah. So go ahead again. Call us 402-464-5685. And we will be playing Shootout with Strick. With Bach, though, it will not be against Strick. He will be on at the top of the hour. So you're stuck with me being the host. I promise you I will do everything I can to help you win, because Strick plays for the people, and I would love nothing more than to see someone defeat Bach at his own game. So looks like he is going to go grab the caller right now, and we will be good to go with the NHL playoff picture. I'll be entirely honest with you guys. I have not been following the NHL season too closely, but I think it's April 29th. Is the first day of the NHL playoffs. Most teams have been eliminated. We know the playoff picture for the most part, but it should be fun. So NBA playoffs underway. NHL playoffs get underway here in just about a week or so. Let's head to the the Honda Lincoln hotline. Alex, how are you doing? Are you excited, or do you know anything about the NHL playoffs?
Just a little bit.
All right. Well, luckily for you, that should give you a little bit of a leg up over Bach, because it sounds like he knows absolutely nothing.
That's correct.
But Alex, we're going to make sure that we get Bach in first, because then we know how many points you have to get. So let me go ahead. Let me see if I can grab a pen over here so I know when Bach gets it wrong, we can give him But Bach, are you ready?
I am ready to roll.
All right. We will start in 3, 2, and 1. Who leads the Eastern Conference in points? Panthers or Maple Leafs?
Maple Leafs.
That is incorrect. It is actually the Panthers. Who has the least amount of points in the Western Conference? Kraken or Coyotes?
Coyotes.
That is correct. True or false? The Blue Jackets have been eliminated from playoff contention.
False.
It is actually true. Who leads the NHL in goals? Alex Ovechkin or Austin Matthews?
I'm going to go with Ovechkin.
It is not Ovechkin. It's Austin Matthews.
No.
And your money ball, the Sabres are located in what city?
Buffalo.
That is correct. Didn't even need the buzzer. Oh my gosh.
I'm
just faster
Ran
than you
through
at
that.
naming the questions. Looks like maybe
it could be. Sometimes I get
you're,
through this.
screwing over our people. So that gives you 3. You were able to get, I believe, the Coyotes correct. So the other ones you were getting incorrect. So Alex, that means that in order to beat Bach, you only have to get 4 points. How you feeling?
We'll give it a shot.
All right. You know what? I believe in you. If no one else will, I promise you. You got this. Are you ready to go, Alex?
Yes, I am.
All right. We will start again in 3, 2, and 1. Who leads the Western Conference in points? Avalanche or Flames?
Flames.
That is incorrect. It's actually the Avalanche. Who has the least amount of points in the Eastern Conference? The Flyers or the Canadiens?
Canadians.
That is correct. True or false? The Blackhawks have been eliminated from playoff contention.
True.
That is true. Who leads the NHL in power play goals? Chris Kreider or Josh Norris?
Norris.
It is actually Chris Kreider. So for the win, the Senators are located in what city?
Washington.
Alex, it was Ottawa.
Ooh.
The Ottawa Senators. So that finishes you with 2 points. So Bach gets the win on this one. We won't give him a hell yeah. He doesn't deserve it today.
Hey, come on.
All right, maybe we will. But Alex, go ahead and hang up. The third caller will actually win the chicken today. So go ahead and call us. Honda of Lincoln hotline 402-464-5685. And again, the third caller, you will win $15 to Buffalo Wings.
And Alex,
Rings.
you can win too, because
Yes,
I
Alex
play
can win
on
too.
behalf of
So,
the people.
Again, it is the Bach plays for the Bach plays for the people. So we will go ahead and give you this, Bach.
I said, give me a hell yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I like to hear. Victories on a Thursday.
Here, I'll give you one of these too.
Boom,
That
shakalaka.
was one of my favorites. But I will say I'm very impressed, Bach. But then here, you want to do the before you head in there and get the call. Real quick, the tiebreaker. How many wins do the Kraken have in their inaugural season?
Ooh, and you said they were not last, so that's
No,
good.
they are not last.
But they're not doing necessarily
not
too
doing
good.
great.
Usually expansion teams don't do too well.
Other than the Golden Knights.
Let's go with 19. Yeah, you're right. The Golden Knights.
19. I would have to go with over because the answer is 26.
Ooh, that's
They have
not too
26
bad.
wins, so I guess not terrible. We have our third caller, and now Bach's going to hop in the other studio, and we will get that going. Again, that was Shootout with Strick. Unfortunately, we're playing with Bach today. Strick is not in, but luckily for you, he's about to jump in here at the top of the next hour. So we will start headed in that direction. Again, you can expect Strick on the other side of this hour for the 5 o'clock hour. Appreciate you guys talking Blockbuster with me. We also heard from Kevin Myers Cork and Bottle. Got to drink some. So it's been a pretty good on the block segment. So again, appreciate you guys talking about Blockbuster because I love all of the nostalgia. But again, on the next hour, 5 o'clock, we will have Eric Strickland, Hall of Famer, Nebraska Hall of Famer. He'll be on the other side, and Bach will be here as well. You're listening to 937 The Ticket.
Find great deals now on new Rams, Jeeps, and more during Ram Truck Month and the Jeep Celebration event at Baxter Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our entire inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles anytime.
At Baxter, we put you in the driver's seat.
Naloxone is a drug used to safely reverse an opioid overdose and is now more readily available in Nebraska. I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. I encourage you to learn how to respond to an opioid overdose and administer naloxone to potentially save a life by getting the free Opie Rescue app for your phone. Be Opie ready. Download Opie Rescue.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Brats, check. Chips, check. Tickets. I love tailgating, but this year I actually wanted to be in the stadium. Season tickets just weren't in my budget. Then I found a way. A research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and bought those season tickets. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Storage Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 Highway 6 in Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction on June 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3. You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Creed stan Jake Bakoven.
I love that band, Creed.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
This is On the Block here on a Thursday, and we've been waiting, and finally, it has happened. Eric Strickland is in the building. He is here, fresh and ready to roll for the 5 o'clock hour. Strix, how your day's going?
You see me chewing.
Yeah, I shouldn't be asking you. Maybe I shouldn't
It's
jump
been,
to that joke, but yeah,
it's been one of them. Now, I didn't even get a chance to eat. I'm literally just being a bad boy and snacking on some Reese's cups just to give me a little something. But yeah, you listen, you know how that process is, Bach, when you're in a dealership, bro, and you're dealing with that all day, and you think you think you're gonna go in there for a few hours.
Yeah.
Turns into 6-7 hours, bro.
A lot of paperwork to sign today.
All kinds of that, bro.
Yeah,
man.
Did you go in, did they get you today? Did you go in looking and ended up being a purchaser? Or did you go in ready to purchase today?
No, I had already kind of started to plan on it. I had a few different options I wanted to look at. I wanted to kind of see how things would pan out with the different ones that I was considering. What made sense? Why would I pay this for that? This is a good, you kind of take a little bit of time, a good hour, just kind of processing through that. And then you finally say, okay, this is what's going to work.
Well, at least
I don't buy new no more. I listen.
Yeah.
I got the shaft treatment one time where I had bought a new BMW. It was a 750 IL, and it was literally over $100,000 or so. And I bought it new. And then I kind of drove it, and I said, you know what, I maybe give this to my dad and or trade it. And, you know, I think I want an AMG. You know, I think I wanted something different. I mean, I liked it. It was cool. I just, you know, it just wasn't my swag. It just didn't feel right for me. And I went to trade it in a year later after paying $100,000. They were talking about $60,000.
Yeah, that off
I
the
said,
off,
what?
off the lot sticker price goes way
That
big.
part. I said,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, you guys will never get me again.
Yeah, I heard it's a good idea to lease new cars, I guess, and maybe buy
If you're gonna do it, if you just kind of want to play in it, test it, you know, enjoy it, you better to lease it than to buy it. But you know, if you kind of want to hold it, you know, maybe transfer it, pass it down. This definitely is a good passer down, the one I got today.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your new wheels. It's always fun to have a new toy, and regardless of how old we get as men, a new car is always a new toy to a degree. So you can have a little bit of fun in it.
Well, there's some new toys that are out there in the college ranks today. Of the news I heard.
Yeah, there's a lot going on out there in the sports world, and let's get to that here. As let's start with Jay Wright deciding to retire from Villanova. Now, there's a lot of speculation. Jay Wright was pretty much set to be the top coach in college basketball based on his resume. Just took his team to the Final Four, 2 championships in the last few years. So it was kind of surprising. Like, okay, Coach K had his little retirement tour, went out the last year. Roy Williams, obviously another great that had just stepped down within the last year and a half or whatever. And surprising news out of Philadelphia, Jay Wright decides to step down as well for Villanova. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I was shocked when I saw it because it does, you know, I do understand that he's accomplished a lot there. I guess from my understanding, at least in Philadelphia, it's hard for Villanova to kind of rise up the ranks as far as being the team in Philadelphia, right? You got all those pro sports to kind of battle with. And so, you know, I kind of understand maybe there's a ceiling there and maybe he felt he hit that, but he was just right in line. Obviously, as great as he wasn't Coach K. He was ready to kind of take over that mantle as top coach in college basketball. And so it's pretty surprising news to me. For what it's worth, Villanova looks like they're going back to a coach that had been there, an assistant coach that had been there for quite a bit of time. I'll have to double check. I think he went over to Hofstra or something, had 1 year as a Fordham. That's right. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know if I expect Villanova to be the same program. So it kind of opens up things in the Big East. And then the other big question, is this retirement or is this setting up to get the Lakers job? A lot of speculation out there for. And I know he's always been connected because of the success in Philadelphia there with Villanova to maybe the 76ers job. So there's been talks about Doc Rivers also being in contention for the Lakers job. So maybe this is just a plan in place down the line.
Well, listen, I think privately, possibly, as opposed to publicly, I think there were some frustrations that maybe he had, about the significant changes in the way that that sports operate now, right? When you're dealing now with transfer portals, how crazy, how hectic those are. There's really not, as a coach, especially a veteran coach, you raised your bar and had a career record of 642 wins and 282 losses in 21 seasons, 7 in Hofstra with a winning record of 122 and 85, and 2 NCAA tournament appearances when he was there at a 50 and 12 record. So, listen, somebody like that has built their programs on stability, i.e. your Jalen Brunsons, and you just start to look down their resume of guys stayed the course usually when they went to Villanova, right? So you every year looked at your roster and kind of had an idea of where we were progressing, and how we were going to recruit. And now that's changed dramatically. Now you don't know who's there, who's leaving, why they're leaving. They're just frustrated. You've got all these different, crazy things going on in your program now that there's no stability. So if he was going to look elsewhere, the professional, even though they're still egomaniacs there, the professional method is still now has become more stable than the actual. It's not as much of what goes on in college now. You don't have to do as much coddling and dealing with these aspects and making sure this guy's happy. And, you just coach the guys and make sure they like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
You just put your stuff together, make sure they like you, and then get your best guys to buy in and then coach the games up and win games. Otherwise, they're going to send you bye-bye because you are the one piece. They don't usually come down on the players. They come down on the coaches in the NBA, right? So if you want tenure and longevity, you got to win. And therefore, if I'm him, I chill. I sit back, I watch, and I make sure that Lakers move isn't a Dungeon and Dragons moment for me where I'm stuck in and can't get out. You know what I mean? And there's no other place to go. I would be careful with that Lakers job. Doc don't want that smoke. Doc is already getting, a lot of grief because he's had teams and hasn't been able to do nothing with any of them except the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
On that one run. Right. He's had gifted teams and just hasn't.
Yeah, Lob City for the longest time with the Clippers.
You know what I mean?
I think the Doc Rivers era in Boston probably could have been a little bit better than it was. They won one title. They were in the finals for another one. So, it's interesting. And now he is getting a little bit of heat on his seat in Philadelphia. He had the Ben Simmons kind of disaster that went awry. We'll see. I mean, a lot of it's going to be based off what goes on in this year's playoffs for the 76ers. But you talk about, Jay Wright, just a guy that's been dominating, has either won the conference or regular season tournament or national championship or a combination of all of those there in the Big East since 2013. That's what Villanova's doing. So talk about a program that's been very stable. And so it does mean a lot for the Big East as well. And I know here, a lot of our listenership, not big Creighton fans, but you have to think specifically for them. They're locking down Coach McDermott. Now it's kind of an opening at the top there. Is Villanova going to stay the same? It's hard to imagine. It's always tough to be the guy to follow the legend. And, they've had guys before. It took a little bit of time before they could find another Raleigh Massimino, right, in Jay Wright. So Villanova's not necessarily a school that I see as, like a Duke or North Carolina where, you roll in the next guy and he may not be as successful as the legend, but he's probably still going to have, his pick of the litter as far as the recruits and stuff. Do you see this as an opening for Creighton?
I mean, listen, you just never know. You never know how it's going to pan out, man. That's the craziest thing about it. I think Mac is built for Creighton and the way that he's handled things there. I think Mac is built for a Villanova type of program. I think he's built for those types of programs. I think Mac's built for a Gonzaga type of program. I don't know. I don't know if, how Mac would do in a Duke type of program.
Well, for what it's worth, when he went to Iowa State, it didn't go too well.
You know what I mean?
But obviously that's different than Duke, but still, it's kind of interesting to see that. I think, Creighton's not the only team. There's a lot of pretty darn good programs over there in the Big East, but Creighton comes to mind first and foremost, just with how competitive they've been, how young they were this past year, that they could really get something rolling there. And so
he becomes the Don. He's basically the Don now of the Big East with Jay Wright bouncing.
Yeah, and hopefully he picks up his suit game too, because Jay Wright, that's the one thing I always liked about him is how nicely dressed he was. Well known for that. I'm fascinated. He is 60 years old. Every coach kind of has their time. Some coaches will go.
He's been pondering it for a while. Yeah, he said. They're saying this just is for us, Bach. This is a kind of a wow moment in time, but this is something that's kind of been rumbling behind the curtains of Oz for a little bit. And so it's just now the curtains got pulled back, but it could be other things involved in it, as you said too, because, Jay Wright has, the success. Now he's about to take over. Maybe he didn't want that smoke. I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, too, he's been, part of his kind of retirement announcement was that he'd kind of be around the program, still be a voice for it. So it might be, I think we get excited when a coach is with that magnitude is open, and you really kind of wonder what would he look like in the NBA, and especially with the Lakers job open. Any coach worth his salt that's going to pop open. If the Lakers job is open, it's going to be rumored for the Lakers. I mean, we've already had, I've seen Juwan Howard rumors out there. Now, obviously, he's not even, he's still coaching at Michigan, but just about any name that sounds exciting. That's what I love. I'm not a big Lakers fan, but I do love a Lakers job opening because then everybody is rumored to be involved there. And certainly, in the media here, that's naturally we go, okay, maybe that's the move. Maybe that's what's going on behind the scenes is because Jay Wright's been rumored for the NBA for a long time. He's basically, I feel like he could have been the next kind of big face of college basketball. So that's why the timing was a bit surprising to me. Maybe, you never know with guys' egos and stuff, but maybe at least, you think from the outside, it would have been nice to kind of be that guy, that dude entering the tournament for, a couple years to have that respect. But at the same time, he's done it all. He's done more than what was expected with him with that Villanova program, brought them back to dominance and a place where he feels comfortable handing it off. He might just be ready to kind of roll off into the sunset and relax. That it's not a bad career.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And for me, I personally take the Shaq methodology of thought in that I would run for the high heels for any coach, as you said, worth his salt. I'd run for the high heels from the debacle that right now is the Lakers. I wouldn't, if I wanted a long time tenure in career, I'm waiting for all of that to wash out. Westbrook, LeBron, and maybe you keep AD, maybe, because you gave away all your juice. You know what I'm saying? You just squeezed out all the juice and there's nothing left but some pulp. So yeah. So at that point, man, I run for the high heels if I'm anybody with salt. I wait that out. I don't touch that. I take that Shaq, methodology and that thought.
Which is crazy because, like I was saying, I mean, it's one of the most well-known international brands in sports. It's just, a historic franchise. And now this is probably going to be round 2 here with LeBron James. Keep in mind that they're probably going to have to settle on their 4th or 5th option. Frank Vogel was not their first pick when the Lakers job was open last time. Lou even turned it down because they didn't want the same thing to happen with Lou as they had in Cleveland. So basically, Lou wanted some security in a contract. They basically told him, it's a 2-year deal. We'll see what happens with LeBron. He said, well, then I'm not doing it. But it's, so you wonder if that, a lot of times when we think from the outside, we kind of think of the allure of the goal of being a Lakers coach. How cool would that be just for your life? That's you kind of think of it as the mountaintop. But like you're saying, if you're in the profession, it kind of goes back to like if you're drafted by a team you dislike. As a fan, we like to say, well, I wouldn't sign with them. But if you're in the profession and you're looking at at the actual logistics of it and the money that's going to be made in the future, that Lakers job, it is something that I don't know if I would touch. It's not Frank Vogel's fault that they melted down. It's more of a GM problem. But ultimately, they're coming down on Vogel. He never got along with Westbrook. Join the group, There's that's a Westbrook thing. That's not a Vogel thing. So it is, but they needed a scapegoat, and they landed on Vogel. And they felt like they needed some fresh blood. But
it seems to always fall on the coach in the NBA. At least the first wave. The first wave falls on the coach. The second wave will fall on whoever is the top tier guy, except LeBron. Everybody is like ducking. Well, not everybody. I mean, there are some people giving him smoke about it, but for the most part, they're allowing him to just kind of teeter in the corner and act like he wasn't a part of that. So okay, but it speaks for itself. Let me just say that.
Yeah,
you've seen a track record. There's now a track record. This is the same thing with the beard. It's a freaking track record now. What it is, for a certain period of time, when you start seeing James Harden getting fat. You know what that means. So it's like, there's track record now. 4 years, I'm out. You know what I mean? 4 years, I blow you up, I'm out. That's kind of what the pattern's been for LeBron. So.
And while we're on it, a lot of us, I think people that when they saw the Westbrook signing thought, this isn't going to work out. Is he at the point in his career? Do you think I don't think he mentally.
I told
he's
you
kind
on Strychnine that wasn't going to work way back then.
That's right. But I'm just kind of thinking if he could talk to his teammate Carmelo there and kind of learn or kind of be humbled to a degree to learn that he could be one of the best six men in the league. I know that's a fall from grace from the MVP status that he once was, but he's not in that category anymore. He's far below that. But at the same time, he could be that guy that could, be a spark plug off the bench certain times if it's not working that day. It is, it kind of is what it is. But I think he could be one of the league's best six men. I just don't see Westbrook agreeing to that. I think that, if he's going to force his way to be traded out of the Lakers, he still thinks he's, player number one, which is good to have that confidence. And I understand he always goes back to the disrespect and he claims his MVP and all that. It's just different times now. And he's aged a bit. He needs, it took Carmelo basically being blackballed from the league before he swallowed his pride and became a sixth man.
Too much ego. And you knew it was so as rumors started to pan out of the inside of Lakers franchise, talking about he shows up. All of a sudden, they're talking about Frank and saying, AD gets it, we're gone. Carmelo gets it, we're gone. Anybody gets this ball, Malik Monk, we're all just flying. Old school Laker. In Westbrook's mind, I'm back in LA, I'm UCLA, I'm Cali. This is showtime. I'm Magic. And so get me the ball and get out the way was kind of basically, allegedly what he basically said. And at that point, the coaches knew, this is about to hit the fan. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I do. I love seeing the Bulls in the playoffs. I do somewhat miss, the Clippers and the Knicks, and especially the Lakers in the playoffs, just so I can root against them. And I think the NBA is better with those brands there. But also, they just won a title a few years ago, so I don't feel too bad for them as a Celtics fan. I feel pretty good as a Celtics fan.
The crazy thing is they said the ratings is up to like almost a 10-year high. So you got to ask the question. Exactly. That's basically why. So you gotta, hey, it's either gotta be him. It's gotta. I mean, I think your boy Silver, baby. I don't know. Some stuff needs to happen, and because otherwise, people are starting to just get behind the teams. They're not, coddling to any specific person or. All the conversations on all the talk shows is about this specific person. They want to talk about the series, the teams, who's doing what, how they're playing. Get into that again. Yeah. They've got to bring it back to the rivalries.
Yeah. Because after every game with LeBron in the playoffs, it's always, what does this mean for his legacy? And that dominates the talk show all the time. So with him out of it, it's kind of nice. We don't do that with KD. After every game, we talk about his legacy. I mean, to a degree, it might be a talking point real quick, but you talk about the game, you talk about the series. I think another part about it too is, I love dynasties. I love talking about all-time greats, and we had that for a minute there with Golden State and Cleveland, but it just, it became the same story every year. This playoffs feels wide open, and I think a big part of that too is because last year you had Phoenix up 2-0 on the Bucks, and the Bucks came back and won the finals. If something doesn't scream, playoffs are wide open, more so than small market team beats other small market team after being down 2-0 in the finals. And I know there's some great players involved there, but to me, I don't see the Bucks. I mean, if you had to put a bet on it, I think you'd have to think about, which one do I think's getting back to the finals, the Bucks or the Suns? Both very good teams. Could see a rematch. I'm not saying we couldn't, but it just feels wide open because those teams don't hover above the rest of the teams in the East or the West.
Hey, listen, after watching the Celtics, I am ecstatic from what Ndolfo is doing over there with the Boston Celtics team. It's
Oh, yeah.
very reminiscent of the way that we played when I was there back when we went to the conference finals that year. They're scrappy. I mean, they're getting in their jock straps. Like, they're not letting KD breathe. I mean, they're making them work on there is no breaks. And so that's why I think they're going to win this series. And I think they're going to win. They're just going to wear them down. I mean, they're throwing the whole kitchen sink at them. All kinds of different players are basically coming at those guys, their best players, and I just don't know if they're going to have enough legs. I mean, KD just looks distraught by just the pressure, and the refs are letting them bang. This ain't the old school where they're letting them bang. So
yeah,
it's tough out here.
And what I do like about that Celtics roster too is, it's basically as Brad Stevens moved to the front office, it was like, okay, I know some of these guys. I'm gonna go back and get some of those guys. So like their role players are a group of role players that they've used before. Like they know the system. They can plug right in with Tatum and Brown and in obviously Marcus Smart. But to go back and get Al Horford and a Daniel Tyson, those guys that have already been through it with Boston in the past. It's a complete team. And once Robert Williams gets back, that defense will be even more difficult for the Nets. So let's talk a little bit more about that. The Nets are in a 2-0 hole. But some people say that the series never starts till you win on the other team's home floor. So perhaps there's still some hope there for Brooklyn. But we'll talk about that and some of the other NBA storylines, as well as eventually I do want to catch up with Strick and see if he's over the Casey Rogers news. It's still bothering me a little bit today. I'm worried about the Husker defensive line there. So we'll talk about that next year on The Block on 93.7 The Ticket.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great. We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
Spring has arrived. Dust off your clubs and play the city. Lincoln City Golf Courses offer 5 different places to play, including Homes, Pioneers, Highlands, Mahoney, and the par 3 Jim Ager course. Plus, one membership gets you access to all 5 courses, or ask about a discount card that gets you 15% off all rounds. There's also adult classes with lessons for every level with Lincoln City Golf Academy. Learn more about membership and classes today at lincolncitygolf.org.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock, or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one, so make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block here on a Thursday afternoon. I will be out the next couple of days. I'm heading off to Los Angeles. I'm going to watch the USC spring game, and just learning now, maybe I'll see Casey Rogers there. Casey Rogers, who is transferring from Nebraska, made his announcement the other day that he's going through the transfer portal, has no shortage of suitors, as he lets it be known on Twitter now. USC has offered Casey Rogers, and of course USC with new coach Lincoln Riley, they've brought in a lot of different recruits. Of course, most notably their quarterback there in Caleb Williams over from Oklahoma. But surprised, Strick, to see this much attention for Casey Rogers. We always talk about the dangers of putting yourself in the portal, but this is why I see him as a significant loss. You know, some people are brushing it off and saying, yeah, he was hurt, and I don't know if I saw this or that from him. If USC wants him, that usually means he's probably the right type of guy you want on the defensive line.
I mean, that does kind of hurt us pretty much in the whole process of things, of just thinking about it. Like, you know, they're just totally revamping. They're using the portal, and then they get a Nebraska kid that could have really helped Nebraska in the front line. So yeah, that's disappointing. It is, like I said, it's a scary proposition to really look at it and consider what it means in the Big Ten, what it means to have your front line be stout. You have to have a stout front line to have success in the Big Ten. I mean, say what you will, just because there's so many dominant running teams that you want to be stout. And when you don't have the depth, and looking at what I saw in the second half when they really started tackling just how the offensive line, which wasn't the first offensive line, was moving the second tier guys, Now, granted, they didn't have the depth, so maybe they was just tired. They was getting all their reps, and that could have been it too. But at the end of the day, that's going to be what it's going to be in a game situation too. So,
yeah,
it's disappointing.
And Nebraska has made, some other offers already, kind of known in the portal, going after a former Alabama defensive lineman. So that'd be a big get. Of course, the biggest one is O'Shawn Mathis, who's basically still the biggest name left in the portal. So we'll see if that happens. He said he's going to make it his announcement toward the latter part of this month. And it's basically down to Nebraska and Texas. So that it becomes even bigger now with Casey Rogers out the door. Again, the latest on Casey Rogers is picked up a USC offer. So he's going to be a big loss. And, I tried to not get too down. I tried to pass the Kool-Aid around and get people going, because you don't want to turn on the radio and listen to somebody tell you their team's not going to be good. But I do say that it's probably a good time for me to take a break, because I'm taking this news particularly rough, just because I'm very worried about the offensive line and the defensive line for Nebraska. And as you mentioned, in the Big Ten, that's not the positions of weaknesses that you really can afford to have. Mentioning as we were speaking of Alabama transfers, Nebraska basketball landing an Alabama transfer today. Juwan Gary, who was playing at Alabama,
he decided to go ahead and come.
He decided on his Instagram that he's committing to Nebraska. So that will be very cool for Nebraska to bring him in. For what it's worth, I'll run down some of what he's been doing there at Alabama. Played 2 years there. So he's a 6'6", 218-pound sophomore this past year. Whereas number 4, if that's what you're looking for him out there, you might choose the same number coming to Nebraska. Averaged 6.5 points and 3.5 rebounds this past year, with about 15.5 minutes per game. Field goal shooting percentage of around 52%. So that's pretty darn good. 3-point shooting percentage, not as good this past year. Career now 20% 3-point shooter. Free throw shooting at 58%. So it's kind of interesting. He's being brought to play inside out to a degree, as far as, kind of the stretch 4 is kind of the idea for him. Maybe you kind of think of him as a Lat Mayen replacement, and Lat Mayen has not made his decision yet. Now, obviously, he brings a little bit different than what Lat Mayen did, but that stretch 4 type of guy, and he doesn't shoot particularly well. Maybe it's better as he gets going. We'll see, but I wouldn't based on his 2 years so far at Alabama, he doesn't look for the 3-point shot a lot, and he doesn't make a high volume of what he does make. So that is interesting. But one thing he does not lack is confidence. As I was reading down the article from Robin Washut on Juwan Gary's commitment, and he said they haven't ever seen a dude like me. I told Coach Hoiberg that myself. No guy in the Big Ten is anywhere near Juwan Gary. Be prepared to make the NCAA tournament this year. So no lack of confidence, at least, from Juwan Gary coming in over the Alabama transfer.
Well, one of the things he does have that I've got a chance to check out on him, he has a high motor. So, when you hear him say that speaks to his high motor. He has a really high motor. He gets out into transition really well. He plays solid defense. He will bang. I'm hoping he'll be a guy that gets you 6 to 8 rebounds a game, just really just laying his body on the line. He's a very physical kid, but he's a slasher. So that's why his 2-point field goal percentage is above 52, because he finds openings. So he's not a stay still guy. His motor helps him to position himself to get a tip in, to get a steal, if they're doubling the post or doubling a player, to be found. So that's one of the things they'll get from him. So hopefully, he can continue to increase on his ability to stretch the floor. He shows capability of shooting it. Maybe it's just bad shots when he does shoot them that he doesn't shoot a better clip, but he doesn't look like he have like one of them crazy, shady looking jump shots that you're like, oh gosh, why are you shooting? It doesn't look like that when I got a chance to see him. So it'd be interesting to see how that works out, how it pans out.
Well, it's also interesting is that maybe as we look at this plan B, right, for Fred Hoiberg, as they bring in different guys to help on the bench there, are they going to move away from high volume shooting, lots of threes, as the bigs that they're getting, and to include Gary now. That's not necessarily the quality that they have now. At least I'm thinking of Derek Walker and him here. But maybe that could be represent a changing of the guard. But one way or the other, like you said, you need somebody that can rebound. He's if he's got the motor for that. But I think more than anything, Nebraska fans will appreciate the motor, like you said, because at times I feel like that was lacking in places for Nebraska last year, especially on defense occasionally.
Yeah, that seemed to be an area that was deficient for a while. Not for lack of that they had the ability to do it, because you saw it in flashes where they were very active and their rotations were so crisp, and it was tough to get a shot off at times. Their problem was great defense, missed shot, no rebound. That's the big problem for Nebraska. I mean, they played great defense, do everything you're supposed to do, take you deep in the shot clock. Next thing you know, a shot goes up, and then boom, it's a miss, it's a rebound, it's a kick out, it's a three. And then now you don't score for 12 because you're tired. You just play defense for about a minute and 20 seconds over the last 3 possessions straight. And so now you don't have no legs to do anything else, and you go on these 12, 15, or 10, 15-minute stretches of not scoring, and then at the end of the day, you end up taking a loss because you fought so hard to try to get back into the game, and then you come up short. So that seemed to be the pattern for Nebraska for me. Hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, and we'll see too is how recognizable is this team going to be next year. I think there's enough of a group sticking around. I think Derek Walker really helps cement not just bodies that stuck around, but at least some production there. Trey McGowan and Lat Main still have not made their decisions, at least publicly. And so Nebraska's won over the scholarship limit at this point. So you maybe think this is a hint that one of them has told the coaching staff that they might be moving on. Who knows? You never know with that sort of thing. But right now, as it speaks for right now, Nebraska is won over the scholarship limit. So that'll have to iron itself out one way or the other. But a brand new looking Nebraska basketball team. Again, I've said it all year. It's probably going to be hard to get a whole lot of hype preseason. They're kind of where the football team is, right? It's we've heard enough. It's time to show it on the court before the buy-in can happen, because with both coaches, the buyout has dropped, and that's not good news, because obviously we don't know how that's kind of played out. But we'll take a quick break here on the ticket, or excuse me, I keep saying the ticket water cooler, but I've got to get used to it. It's the on the block here as we get going. I think let's do a little bit of NBA talk, because let's get back to that. We didn't have I wanted to get some of the local stories in here before we get to the NBA. Also, Mike Tyson is fighting people on planes, so we'll get to that next year on the block.
This is your High School Minute.
Your Southeast Community College High School Minute. I'm Gus Cottle. Elkhorn North Baseball defeated Lincoln Christian 8-1 behind 10 strikeouts and a complete game win for Drew Harper. Lincoln East Baseball used a 5-run inning in the 6th to defeat Lincoln Southwest Baseball 9-3. Lincoln High Baseball defeated Omaha Bryan 38-3, with Ethan Waring having 4 RBIs and Jack Harris with 5 RBIs. The Prep Baseball Spartan Invitational will be held at Sherman Field and Den Hartog Field on Friday and Saturday. Lincoln Northeast Girls Soccer defeated Omaha Bryan 8-0 behind 4 goals by Jordan Renard and 8 saves by Lily Bennett. Lincoln Southeast Girls Soccer clinched the LPS title after defeating Lincoln Southwest 1-0. Lincoln East Boys Soccer defeated Lincoln Pius X 2-1. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Your first alert weather forecast tonight: increasing clouds, showers, and storms likely after midnight. Overnight lows 58. A windy, hot day. Highs around 90, south winds gusting to 45. I'm NTV Chief Forecaster Ken Fountain for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
You can search online for hours to find the best electricians in Lincoln and the surrounding area, but I'll save you time. High Electric has been serving their customers for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything electrical, from remodeling to new additions, hot tub installations, electric vehicle chargers or EV chargers, lighting, ceiling fans, and more. High Electric takes jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at highelectric.com.
2022 is all about staying well. And guess what? There are lots of easy ways to take care of your mental and physical health every day, like eating right and exercising, taking vitamins, drinking water, scheduling those annual doctor's visits, or just resting. That's right, even a quick nap counts. Because let's be honest, these days we could all use a little more wellness in our lives. So stay well, Nebraska. For more ways you can stay healthy, visit staywellnebraska.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips. Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great? Come on back and have a seat. Good asks you what haircut you'd like. I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today? Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Join us at Cactus by Venue for our new America's Favorites menu. We're keeping your favorite dips and tacos and adding brand new dishes, including delicious steaks, burgers, pastas, and more. Focusing on vibrant casual dining using a blend of fresh ingredients prepared from scratch. Located at 56 and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center, see the whole menu online at cactusbyvenue.com and order yours to go at venuedelivered.com. Cactus by Venue, America's favorites.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I hope everybody is having a nice Thursday evening as we go here. I think Strick's got 1 second here as he's had a busy day getting new wheels. So very, very excited for Strick to get a new toy there. It's a busy day in sports. Again, just kind of running down the news in Nebraska circles, I suppose. Casey Rogers, what we were talking over the break there, or I guess in the last 20 minutes or so, picked up an offer from Washington. So as far as his Twitter goes, he's thanking everybody that's given him an offer there in the portal. So far, it's Arkansas, Washington, and USC is the interest for him. And again, that kind of tells you in my mind how big of a loss this is for Nebraska. Those are obviously big brand name schools that are interested. So, it's I continue to say it, and I am taking a few days off here on the radio, and I will try to get my my mind right, I suppose, as a Nebraska football fan, because I'm feeling pretty worried about that defensive line. Maybe an O'Shawn Mathis commit will get my Kool-Aid rolling again. That's the hope for all Husker fans, as I know it here. But plenty of other news as well. The biggest one for, again, in Nebraska circles is Juwan Gary, transfer from Alabama, will be joining the Nebraska basketball team. Somewhat of a stretch four type of guy, it looks like, for him. Not a great shooter, but definitely will be a presence inside and will bring the energy for the Husker basketball program next year. Some other stories that I wanted to get to before we get out of here. Arizona Cardinals, we've been talking about it over the last month or so. Arizona Cardinals GM today, Steve Keim, says there's a 0% chance that Kyler Murray gets traded. And then Kyler Murray responded with 100 emojis. So, 100% or whatever. So it looks like whatever's going on in the desert, they're coming together.
I thought he might have been looking at another dirty bird. Listen, them dirty birds is trying to figure out a way. They need something. Shoot, they would have loved to steal a little Kyler Murray flavor out there, a little reminiscent of some old Michael Vick. I don't know if he's got the arm Michael Vick had, but good Lord, he's got some feet like him though.
That's right. That would have been interesting, but I'm glad as a Cardinals fan that they're coming to it looks like at least, they're on the same page as far as sticking around and being Cardinals. We'll see how they get the contract situated there. For what it's worth, GM Steve Keim and their head coach Cliff Kingsbury both got extensions this offseason. So they took care of that before they took care of their disgruntled quarterback.
Go figure.
Yeah, kind of odd, and made me displaced by or have a little bit of lack of trust in the Arizona brass there. But apparently, at least they're coming together on that one. Also today, it was kind of interesting. Mike Tyson was being harassed by a fan on an airplane. And, of all the guys that you probably shouldn't harass, it'd be Mike Tyson. The guy was just your typical, joker. He's sitting behind him and going, that's Mike Tyson. He's making all the jokes. And then they apparently it was filmed. Mike Tyson apparently punched him or put his hands on him to get him to stop. And we talked about the other day how Snoop could kind of get away with what he needs to do if he wants to light up wherever he's at. Mike Tyson probably can just get away with punching you pretty much. If you mess with Mike Tyson, that's on you. There's nothing anybody else can tell you. Don't do that.
Listen, that it was a Friday moment, I'm sure, for everybody on there when that man took that 5-piece chicken wing and a biscuit for messing with Mike Tyson and ended up with a Friday moment where the guy was standing over after Debo just laid them hands on you and said, you got knocked up out.
That's right. And Chris Tucker, I wish you would have played in more movies.
Yeah, I wish you would have too. But hey, listen, they figured it out. They did good. They ran it down.
He did what he
maybe
needed.
I might go watch it while I'm just enjoying this Thursday evening. I miss Thirsty Thursday, man.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Maybe I need to, just enjoy a good Friday.
Yeah, that'll get you ready for Friday. That's always a good way to do it. And of course, also NBA action on tonight. We mentioned some of the games going on last night, but some interesting ones and some interesting storylines to follow here. Let's start with the nightcap. Denver down 0-2 to Golden State. It does go back to Denver for what it's worth. Do you think, we've seen Nikola Jokic visibly frustrated. We know he doesn't have his top two teammates out there to help him. And Golden State's just another beast. So I get all that. Do you think that Denver gets a game in this series, or do you think the frustration has already boiled over and it's pretty obvious they can't deal with that lineup that Golden State can throw out there?
Yeah, listen, man. Golden State is, now that they're at full strength and really been playing at full strength. And listen, Draymond Green is very capable at handling him with physically. Yes, Jokic is going to still do his thing, but that defense as a whole and just the movement of that offense, bro, that's a bad matchup for Denver right now. They just really they can't take advantage of Jokic because, normally where his advantage is most bigs can't come out there, but they've got a good game plan. They're putting Draymond Green on him. Unless Malone and the group can make some adjustments, they're stuck, bro. This is a wrap.
Yeah, and we all talk about Golden State's shooting and spacing, but I don't think their passing probably gets enough talk. It's kind of like the old the Spurs
Yeah,
for that dynasty
very.
for the longest time. Those
But
guys,
look, Kerr comes out of that. That's I mean,
right?
You can see how it becomes what it becomes. Kerr was definitely under Popovich and that crew, and understand what Popovich likes to do. That read and react offense. It's tough to defend. You can't really scheme for it because it changes. It never looks the same.
Yeah, and there always seems to be a shooter open somewhere, even if that's just Draymond Green, who will knock him down enough at a high enough rate. And I don't think not a big fan of Draymond Green just because he's frustrated me with my teams over the years. But man, I don't know if he gets enough credit for changing the game. Everybody talks about Steph. I don't know how much it would look differently if they didn't pick Draymond in the second round. I mean, maybe they would have found another guy, but he's not easily replaceable as we've seen in the past too. Let's move on to Dallas and Utah. Unfortunately, that game's on NBA TV, but it is trouble there. Dallas is without Doncic once again. This game is in Salt Lake City, and Utah's at full strength. Do you think Dallas can steal it again? I mean, it seems to be asking a lot for Jalen Brunson a couple times.
I think it's asking a lot. It can be done, but he's gonna need help. It can't be Superman, as Caruso said in the locker room after they had that big win. Listen, it's just a natural thing for a team to have taken an L to feel like, the same thing. If I came up and smacked you, it's not natural for someone not to want to smack you back. If I hit you in the game, it's not unnatural for me to want to lay a crack block on you the next time I see you. If I elbow you or if you elbow me, it's not unlikely for me to find a way to run by you and hit you with one myself. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing they're dealing with. They took an L they felt they probably should have got. Going back home, I think they feel like, we got to give it to you, baby. We got to put it on you.
Yeah, I could definitely see that playing out. And then 30 seconds here as we wrap up. Minnesota and Memphis. Is that series going to be interesting, or did Minnesota you think it's going to be, two young teams and Edwards? Love to watch him play.
I'm watching it tonight. Let's get it.
Absolutely. That starts at 6:30, so just right around the corner here. Once again, I will be out watching the USC spring game here in the next several days, so that's the reason for my trip out to LA. No, it's not, but I will be doing that anyway. But that means Nate Brennan of the Ticket Water Cooler will be jumping on with Strick. So
AKA Nate Doggy Dog.
That's right. Nate Doggy Dog will be back for that in the next couple of days. So everybody have a good weekend as far as I'm concerned, and tune back in on Friday for On the Block. But of course, Ticket Weeknights coming up next. Have a good one.
Early break.